Welcome to the Waldorf Gridiron Club Podcast, your home for all things football at Waldorf University, the best small college football experience in America. Hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson, from the secret bunker beneath Waldorf Field. Hello, Warrior fans. Troy Thompson here once again on the Waldorf Warriors podcast. Andy just got back from fishing, and he's been pretty busy this week. And it's been kind of a weird week because for those of you that follow us on the Warriors Live, the coaches program that we present every Wednesday evening at Paddler's Tap live in downtown Forest City, you know that, we were actually... we were recorded this week, and that had to do with what was happening in high school volleyball and what the local radio station could do. So we recorded it, Coach Chapa, Coach Aune, and we had our special student-athlete guest, Liam Stone, on. And that is what we did for Wednesday. And because Andy was not quite back yet from where we needed to be, we decided that what we would do is play the episode kind of the full and complete version of that episode, which has some funny outtakes. There were some moments where we had to take pauses and breaks, and that was for commercials in the regular radio program. And so we thought it would be interesting if you heard the entire show or most of the show as it was recorded. And we're going to use that this week for our Waldorf Warriors podcast for the Gridiron Club. And of course, it is Senior Day this Saturday. So we're looking forward to that. It's the final home game for the Warriors this season on their farewell tour in the NSAA as they take on the Mayville State Comets for the second time this season. And we look forward to beating them again. This time they will be at home at Waldorf Field, so it's the last chance to get out and tailgate at the Waldorf Field complex and have a great time. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. The Warrior Walk will be at 10:30, and we're hoping to see you there. So without further ado, let's take a listen to the Warriors live show that we pre-recorded. And this is a slightly different mix, kind of the complete version of what you might have heard on Wednesday. All right, I gotta be out of here so I can get to practice for these choir people at 8:15.
Okay, let's roll.
Not that I'm singing.
Well, I got bowling league at 9 o'clock anyway, so.
Oh, do you?
You press the record button, so.
Oh, yeah, we're all set.
Oh, here we go. The bloopers start now.
Okay, here we go. I'll open us up here. Maybe I do need to use the applause. I never use these here. Welcome to the Warriors Live show presented by MBT Bank here from the Paddler's Tap in downtown Forest City. This is a pre-recorded and very special episode unique to the Warriors Live program. So no Warriors Live on Facebook Live tonight for the Waldorf University football program. But that's okay because I'm Troy Thompson, Vice President of the Waldorf Gridiron Club, co-host of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast, along with Andy Buffington and the voice over Waldorf Field for the Warriors on game days, which we have coming up, our final home game this coming Saturday. The Paddler's Tap, which is where we would normally be, but we are not tonight, and where you could be too. So feel free to stop by when we come back in a week and do this all over again. We just get things started and then have a good time. So about 6:30 or so, then folks stop in at Paddler's Tap, and it's a good time. We want you to come out next week for sure. And then, of course, once again, thanks to our title sponsor, Manufacturers Bank and Trust, MBT. As Denny Busta says, you can just call us MBT is what he said. And I said, okay, there you go. So special thanks to Juliana Burkholder and Ashley Davison at the Forest City Chamber of Commerce, the Waldorf University Athletic Department, Chad Gassman and crew, and all the big-time fans in the Waldorf Gridiron Club. And how about a big woo ball holler from the Warrior football fans here with us tonight? It's the same thing. Yeah. It's like a sound effect. I can do that. Not too bad. Those are good fans. Lots of fans out here and around as we listen to this tonight. Okay, so the Warrior football team is now 4-3 and 3-2 in the NSAA on the 23 season as We did lose at homecoming, but we went out to Madison, South Dakota, and once again left the Trojans used and abused, and we threw them away a little bit out there in Madison at their home. I think that they're now 0-7, so they're not feeling terrific at this moment. This Saturday, we're home again, and this time we're facing Mayville.
Senior night, too.
Senior night, yep.
And it is senior night, yes. And so you just heard the voice of Liam Stone. We'll be talking to Liam in just a second. So let's get into the summary of the game last week in Madison with the Trojans, with head coach Tyler Chapa. Coach.
This is fun. This is interesting.
Something different.
This is different. I love it, though.
Now, you've been out to the bunker before, and, of course, This is where we record the wonderful podcast for the Waldorf Booster, or the Waldorf Gridiron Club, boosting Waldorf football and everything like that. So we're looking forward to another victory this week coming up as we play Mayville, and I know you guys have been out on the field and getting everything ready and looking forward to that. But let's talk a little bit about what happened last week. The Warriors went over to Madison, South Dakota, and like we said, we beat them pretty handily. Let's see, the final score was Waldorf. No, that's from Waldorf 34. Dakota State 14.
Yeah, so, I mean, going up there, we had lunch at a rest stop somewhere in Adrian, Minnesota, I think it was. And when we got off the bus, it was kind of chilly. So, usually at a nice rest stop, our guys will get their sandwiches and hang outside and talk. And we're out there for about 35, 40 minutes. And nope, guys got their sandwiches, got their butts back on the bus, and they're ready to go. So I was thinking the weather was going to be colder than it actually was over there. Maybe the adrenaline was pumping once we got there, but it was a beautiful night for football.
It was, and you guys had a 4 o'clock start, so it was 3 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Oh, was it 4 o'clock?
It was 4, yep.
Yeah, okay. Well, I did watch it on my phone. I was at a different game on that Saturday, but I was really paying attention to the Waldorf game, which was very good, and it was fun to see you roll on into halftime, and you were leading then too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it was 24-7, similar to the Valley City game. It was 24-0, so at least kind of leaning back on that experience of, okay, we can't let up here. Just because we're up at halftime, I didn't feel any sense of complacency going into the locker room this time. And I think holding on to some of those experiences that we've all been through really helped us.
24-7 heading into the half, and so it didn't get much better then for the Trojans after that. They came back out as you guys did. Otherwise, it would be a weird game if you guys didn't come out in the halftime. And they only scored one more touchdown to end the game, 34-14. And so that happened in the third quarter in 11 plays, 70 yards, about 7 minutes into the game. And tell us about. Let's talk about your offense, the situation that got you to where you needed to be, getting into the half and then getting out of the entire game, walking away 34-14 with a 20-point spread, and then we'll get to defense.
Yeah, so I think offensively, our guys have been, really, really prideful in running the football, and I think I've always said it, and you feel it even more as a defensive coach, but if you can consistently run the football on somebody, it's pretty dang demoralizing, and always having the threats of Malik Adams and Justice Johnson and Dom Watt and guys on the edge that, well, you can't just load the box because then, we have weapons on the outside, and then obviously Jordan Cooper is dynamic and can run, and then our two-headed monster back there with Navi and Tay. So they did a really good job kind of giving us the lead, and it was our job on defense to protect that.
So you had a couple of opportunities there on fourth down, and you went for it, and you came up 50%, so 1 for 2 on that deal. And then on third down efficiency, you were at 36%, 4 out of 11. So what happened there?
Yeah, so fourth down, I'm aggressive. Coach is aggressive. we always talk about what we want to do, and everything goes in with the flow of the game. If we feel like we can stop them on defense, then we're probably going to go for it more often, no matter where we are on the field. Connor Parker's done a great job kicking field goals and giving us that confidence in him. If we don't feel like we should go for it, we know that he's going to make it. But, the other part is, too, like if we're down there on the 7-yard line and we don't get it, we're okay with that. If we have the lead, we had a 10-point lead and we didn't get it, but they had to drive 93 yards on our defense. So, and then third downs, that's something that we're looking to get better at this week. We're going to put our guys in different situations and boost that percentage.
So you had it really was a run-heavy game. I mean, as far as passing goes, you guys were like 66 yards.
Yep, and that's just a testament to kind of what I said. If the run is working, keep going. One, we have the lead. We're wasting clock, and if they can't stop it, if it's not broke, we're not we're not going to do anything to overcoach our guys or do anything crazy. And we can get first downs through the air when we need to. But again, we were just so dynamic. I mean, we were running the ball out of different sets: 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 10 personnel. So to put that on film. And all of our backs were running, and our quarterback was running, and our receivers were blocking. So just the mentality that our skill positions have now, I think, is better than it's ever been.
So were they playing were they playing you soft, or were you just able to run over them?
I don't think they were playing us soft. I actually think that their front seven, their box dudes, are some of the best box guys in our conference. Their nose guards are really, really good, and I just think our guys were handling them. And you guys will speak to Liam, an offensive lineman, but those guys don't get enough credit. And our offensive player of the game this week, which we will talk about later too, it was our offensive line, just because we had multiple backs have open holes. We had our quarterback being able to run free, and they can't do that if those 5 guys up front aren't taking care of business. And they've showed all week. Valley's got a good D-line. Dickinson does too. Dakota does too. And then I think we do too. And they got to practice against us every single day. And so kind of that iron sharpens iron mentality.
So on a different podcast, I had the opportunity to talk a little bit about an analogy that I think you might appreciate, and that is playing your irons. So when it comes to golf, I should probably play my irons more than I do my woods, for sure.
Yeah.
And but I have woods in the bag, and so I always say that while I look like a golfer, I have the membership, but when it comes to the actual game, sometimes I'm just not that efficient, and you want to use those tools that you have. One of the not criticisms necessarily, but observations about football, particularly about high school, was that if you've got the ability to play your irons, which is the run game, in my opinion, then play your irons. If that's working for you, stick with it.
Yeah.
You don't need to necessarily throw the air game in there and essentially play with your woods and really try to get those distances. You can, but for me, gosh, I mean, I just do better when I play with my irons. And it sounds like that you guys were, you were going to work and it was working for you, so that's what you did.
Yeah, and we've had a couple games that, from to the outside observer or somebody that's not in our program can look kind of not flashy. If you're not throwing the ball over the yard, it can look kind of boring. But really, running the football is if you can do it successfully, you should keep on doing it, because what's going to happen is either you're going to keep getting first downs on the ground, you're going to score, you're going to demoralize the defense, but then you're going to open up the pass, because once they bring that other safety into the box, well, now we've got guys that you got to double cover one of them. You can't double cover both of them. So I think, and with the backs that we have, I just can't say enough about what we've done with our ground game. But that doesn't mean that we don't have an air attack. It's just, the games that we've been in have called for more run heavy offense.
Well, and that's important when you come into the game on Saturday, too. They see one thing from the previous week, and they're looking for some things that they've experienced already, because everybody that you're now playing, you've already played once, and that includes, obviously, the Trojans from Dakota State. We started with them, and now we're right back into the action in a second game cycle, again, with Mayville, and then we follow that up with Dickinson State and then go on to Valley City. So it's fun to be able to show them some things. that necessarily they weren't looking at. They know you can run. And obviously, Navi is on their attack list.
Yeah, and I think a unique part of this season is to not show your entire hand the first time you play somebody, which could be hard because it's in the playbook, everything's ready to roll, but you have to always keep in the back of your mind that okay, we got to play these guys again. They're going to have wrinkles for us. We got to have wrinkles ready for them. Because you're not going to go in with the same exact game plan every single time. So it'll be interesting to see how Mayville lines up, if they change anything, if they're, what their adjustments could be both on the offense and defensive side.
But it came down to, when you were actually fairly well matched when it comes to the rushing attempts. So Waldorf had 38 rushing attempts. Dakota State had 32, but the difference is huge when it comes to the average gain per rush. So Waldorf came down with 7.8 yards average per rush. I mean, that's almost a first down every single time. Yeah. And then they were stuck at 2.5 yards, which doesn't get you where you need to be. And so obviously you've got some great backs, but they don't get to where they need to be if those holes aren't open in the gaps.
Yep, and so that's why we're doing our best. We don't do it all the time. We don't do it often, I'll even say, but we try to recognize our offensive line as much as we can. Those guys know that they're loved within our program, but, again, a testament to running the football, and then our number one goal on defense is to stop the run. So anytime you hold a team to under 3 yards a carry is huge.
Yeah, that was obviously the case on Saturday, and just talking about your leading rushers, again, Navi Hill with 155 yards, Tay Buchanan with 84. Then you got Jordan Cooper, who kept the ball and ran 57 yards himself. Rocky Ketchum came up with 3, and then so I don't know why I mentioned Rocky. I guess he's just in the next, but he had a moment there. You don't see that name very often.
Yeah, so he's a freshman. He's going to be special. He plays a lot of special teams for us, and him learning from Navi and Tay is going to be very good in his development, but being able to get him on the field every now and then is going to be huge for him too.
And again, Connor Parker was perfect on field goals. On his point after. Well, extra points, he was 4 for 4, perfect on field goals. So quite a day for him with 10 points total. And I said last week it was kind of fun it was in the Gridiron 4-1-1, but the idea was like he missed that one field goal because he smacked the left side of the uprights. And that was the first time all season, 6 games in, that he had that situation. So, now that that's out of the way, he's got nothing to worry about. And clearly that was the case.
And I think his long field goal wise was 45 yards, I think. And for a true sophomore to be able to he's pushing 50 yards here. And when he kicked that field goal, there wasn't much wind going on. He's just getting more and more confident. And I mean, again, he's a sophomore. He was the NSA Player of the Week, and he's been that, I think, 2 or 3 times. So, I mean, Connor he works his butt off, and I'm really happy for him.
Well, let's talk about the interceptions there. We had a couple, and then we'll get into the defense. Jakeem Brock had an interception, got 11 yards, and then Keegan Handel had a big return with 20 yards on his interception. Let's talk about the defense.
Yeah, so Jakeem he's our high safety. He's our free safety. He's probably 5'8" on a good day. Really fast, really smart. But he can kind of hide, when those offensive line pop up to pass block. I mean, sometimes quarterbacks struggle to see him, and so he's got a beat. He's doing a great job understanding where his threats are, and then when he picked that ball off, he took off to his right-hand side and tried to hurdle a 6-foot player and got dropped on his head, which he's fine, but okay. I said, dude, you can't do that. And then Keegan,
does that ever work out? No. I mean, you
for
see
tall people,
you see these guys and they just want to leap, and then you see that leap and it almost never.
But yeah, so he's not going to do that anymore. But now he'll continue to get interceptions. But Keegan has done a great job. We demand a lot from Keegan. He comes from a great football family, so his football IQ is great. And on that particular play, he had the back out and the running back in the flat, and we sent some heat. Quarterback didn't see him, and he took it for a touchdown.
Your defensive statistics as far as tackles go, they were very balanced, and you didn't have necessarily a standout. Obviously, the leading tackler Saturday was Shannon Williams with four solos, 3 assists, 7 total. Jakeem Brock right behind, tied with him with 7 as well. And then Thomas Edwards at 6, Xavier Warner with 6 as well, and then Nico Page 5, and then Jeremiah Smith, Will Strickland, Keelan Jackson, and Keegan Handel all 4, and so on and so forth. So all of those are in the single digits, and everybody's just doing their job.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point too, is that we don't need guys to have 18, 19 tackles a game. If we're having guys that are all bunched up in there, that means that when the play's coming to them, they're making it. So we've been working on tackling a lot. We're not going to stop, but these guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely, and clearly if you can hold the other team to the number of yards that you did for rushing, which, again, 81 total yards rushing for the Trojans, which is, I mean, that's not good, And then as far as passing goes, they did pass the ball, but 160 yards, and like I said, we had 2 pickoffs there.
Yeah, so our defensive goals are under 100 yards rushing and under 200 passing. So we met both of those, and I think we're pretty good on third down defensively as well. I think we're pretty close to 26%. But this was one of our most complete games. Now we just got to keep stacking our good days on top of good days.
Absolutely, and that's what we'll talk about some more when we come back in just a little bit. We're going to be talking with Liam Stone. Waldorf wins the game Saturday against the Trojans 34-14. We'll be back right after these messages.
Yay.
Yeah. I mean, we could just take a pause there, So then I'll get into talking to Liam here.
You didn't want us to respond, right?
No,
I really wanted to break in there and
I heard you fart. Did you fart over there?
I was coughing. Sure.
Give me just 1 second.
I was those Marlboro Reds, man.
Yeah, right. All right, let me get. Oh, I got your number here.
Actually, I don't really smoke unless I'm drinking. So.
That's good.
Liam, you're a troll.
All right, here we go. All right, and welcome back. Welcome back to the Warriors Live Show. Glad that you're joining us. It's a little different format tonight. We still have our interview with our Warrior athlete. We've got one today. We're going to talk in a little bit here to the offensive coordinator, Ethan Aune. But first, we're going to talk to Liam Stone, number 79, 6 feet tall, and just a 350-pound guy. Testing out my chair because this is pre-recorded, but this is the second time that you've done that. You're doing pretty well. Liam, you're from LaPorte City, Iowa. I know where that is.
Yep, that's about 15 minutes south of Waterloo, and I did lose a little bit of weight, so that's probably not correct anymore on that roster. So.
Oh, look at you getting all there. 350. What are you, 348 now? Or
Actually, I think this morning I weighed 340.
Oh, 340. Nice. All right. Well, you're a big guy, and you make a big impact there on the offensive line, and that's what we're going to talk about here. So, first of all, the offensive line is they just don't get any stats. There's no pictures in the paper very often, but we did recognize now for the second time in a row, well, not in a row, but second time this season, the entire offensive line for the work that you guys do. Obviously, we're not racking up these touchdowns without you guys on the front.
It is a very selfless job, but you do it for the love of the skill guys to succeed. And all that is allocated upon how well we play. And obviously, sometimes I do get frustrated because you're not the one making the plays. So when things don't really go your way, it's kind of frustrating sometimes. So.
Right, sure. But you find a way to work through it, and you guys take, just a ton of abuse. You have the advantage, for one, of knowing the count and knowing the play.
Yep.
But after that, you're still rocking it out there in the trenches.
Well, we had a pretty good game. Me, Logan, and Gabe were just getting it done. We thought 93 was going to be a threat, And I think they were just so demoralized, with the season, how it went so far, is that it felt like it was kind of easier this time around because 93 is a big load.
Right. And that's the nose tackle you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. And when we were blocking him, solo blocking him, it's like we're always stalemating each other. But this time around, it felt way easier. I don't know if it was because like they're just not feeling it anymore. Well, I mean, they're about to get a whole new freaking stadium, a whole new, like all that infrastructure that's being built right next to their field. I mean, I'll be pretty excited. And they're going D2. So.
Yeah. Well, but it's going to be an interesting path for them. It's their farewell tour in the NSAA as it is ours. We're taking our show on the road and going to the GPAC, and that is something that we celebrate and looking forward to. But so what are you looking forward to as as a junior? You still got another year. So what's it going to be like next year with the GPAC?
That is still yet to be decided. I think I'm leaning more towards not completing my final year.
Really?
Yeah, I just kind of, I don't know, I just felt like I needed more time to myself and, certain health conditions that are needed to be recognized.
So this is your farewell tour?
I think so, yeah.
Well, I hope not, because we love you on the line. I mean, you make a big...
Unless Coach Aune gives me a real good convincing.
Well, we'll talk to him in a little bit for sure. But so now you're on the fence about that situation, and obviously we want you to stay healthy and do everything that you need to do. What has as a guy who has played for Waldorf for a while, like this is something that you're, I mean. What's the camaraderie like? What's it like in the lineman's corner there in the locker room?
So
and yeah,
we're like the kind of like the freaks. Like we do a lot of goofy stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's like if you were to identify us as like a whole unit, that would be us. But it's all come from love because we do such a selfless task because we always want to see others succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of like the dads. We're the dads, and we have to like watch our children succeed.
Right.
We're just passing on our morals to them,
You're passing on the morals.
Yep.
Nice. Now, you came from LaPorte City, so where'd you go to high school?
I went to Union High School with
Okay.
Coach Hatacek.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a big philanthropist guy. He likes to go out and talk. He's a real Christian, real Christian values, and he met me when I was in middle school, when I was a big troublemaker. Come in the office and he would like straighten me out. He would like basically hold my hand.
Yeah.
The whole time.
I love it.
Like trying to get me right. And, obviously I still have those, those reoccurrences where I'm probably not being the most mature.
Yeah.
In the in the D-Jack or on the field, but I like to have fun. So
yeah, well, it's a cool thing that your coach did for you, coming down to you even in middle school. So this is the varsity high school coach that you're talking about.
Yep.
And he comes and finds you in middle school, says, "Hey."
Well, I think it was kind of like not saying grooming, but I think he was trying to like get me to like.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get me to like, obviously get me ready to play varsity. I think he wanted me to play varsity as a freshman, but I think I was too immature at the time. Physically I was there, but just not emotionally or mentally ready.
So now you're, 6 years removed from that freshman year. You're in your junior year. You're in the season here at Waldorf, and good win over Madison, and you've obviously made an impact on the front line. And so what in the world would make you say, well, I'm not sure that I want to do this?
Well, multiple injuries.
Yeah.
Bad knees.
Is that something that, does that go with being an offensive lineman?
Yeah. I mean, it's no big secret that that's a problem, but still it's taxing.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I'd like to go get a job, make some income because, got a girlfriend now.
Oh, no. You've got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting too. So
girls aren't cheap.
No.
When you take them out to dinner and stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be the gentleman and pay for the
Very
tab
good. What are you studying at Waldorf?
Health promotion, exercise science.
Okay.
So
Yep.
if I'm eating and not working out, it's kind of counterproductive. So.
You gotta love Liam Stone, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's some good stuff here. Do you like that? Oh, they all do. Yeah, that's very good. Well, it's the truth out there. So, I always told my boys that you can be a lover or an athlete, and sounds like you're moving in one direction.
Yep. Yep. You can say that.
All right, very good. Okay, so let's talk about taking care of the quarterback. So Jordan Cooper, he's not afraid to run,
Nope.
and you've been working with him for a while. So having a guy that says, "I'm going to run off the gap," there. How does that feel, and what do you do to take care of Jordan?
So I love Jordan so much because he's such a great guy, and also he's a freaking athlete. So like even when I mess up like a crucial block, he'll get me right.
Yeah.
Because he's just so freaking athletic.
Yeah. So when you say he gets you right, like in the huddle or when you come back?
Like during the play, like
oh right.
Like if I like have so I actually messed up a play. Like I heard a distinct play, and it was actually another play. I was supposed to pull. I didn't pull. And that was the play he scored a touchdown on. So
okay. So it worked out.
So it was a broken play that worked out in our favor.
Right. So that's a good thing.
That's what I love about Coop.
When you get back, go ahead.
Because he could just, correct my mistakes.
You've got some great backs, and as we've already said in this program, you can't get those gaps, you can't make those things happen without a strong offensive line. That's what you guys have there at Waldorf, and I got to say, when you come back into the huddle and something awesome like that happens, even on a broken play, do they give you kudos because it's not coming in the newspaper?
I mean, of course they're gonna show love, even though like we should get recognized sometimes, but we do.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah. This is where the Facebook Live part would be so valuable because your expressions are priceless. And of course, we don't have Facebook Live this week on the program because it is pre-recorded. But Liam, I tell you what in the next few years, what do you think that the role as a lineman has done for you? Just as a man, you talk about coming into high school as a freshman and you had the body, but you weren't necessarily where you needed to be mentally or maybe even emotionally. But now, 6 years later, obviously you've developed quite a bit. And how does this translate to life after football?
Just being like a great nurturer, because obviously you got to nurture your QB. You got to keep him safe and protected.
Yeah.
You got to keep him in your little swaddle. You got to keep him protected. You can't let him get hurt.
Yeah,
because you feel guilty as a father if you have your child get hurt. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I've always said that I think that linemen make great dads, great coaches, and they always make great men because of that willingness to put themselves out there, right there on the gridiron, and do what you do. So it is something that I'm glad that you're out there for us. You've got some games left in the season, and I hope that you stick around and change your mind. But we'll see what happens.
Yep.
And wish you the best of luck, and so glad that you're on our team for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, number 79, 6 foot, 340 pounds, Liam Stone. And we'll be back to talk to, we're going to talk to Ethan Aune, who knows Liam very well, and our offense, the offensive coordinator, right after this.
Good job with old Liam. He's wild, man. Look at him. He's just dying.
That's kind of what it was.
Your coach groomed you to play football? What is wrong with you? He said, I don't want to say groom, but he kind of held my hand. Jeez Louise, man.
I think that's good. That's
no, it's
fine.
funny.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Is funny. Yeah.
These are the bloopers. Look at Coach Aune's having an aneurysm right now.
That's awesome.
You're probably gonna edit that one out, right?
No.
I mean, in the podcast, I might leave this whole darn
Dude,
thing.
leave it all
It is
in.
funny
This is
to
good.
the bone, and nobody's saying anything that I have to, use this button for. I hardly ever use these buttons, but
Wow.
yeah, it's really loud. Yeah, a little bit loud. Very
Liam,
good.
you're
Yeah.
It's kind of what it was. Like middle school, like when I was a
Oh, there it is.
there it
Now I
is.
have to-
There it is.
yeah.
We're still recording, dude.
Oh, we are.
Yeah,
We
okay,
got
it's
this
Coach's turn. Shut your mouth.
All right. Hold on a second. All right, welcome back to Warriors Live. And normally we would be at the Paddler's Tap, but this week we are pre-recorded so that the KIOW and KIOW.com can spread the word, the gospel about the great things that are happening in high school volleyball tournament time all over the region. And so here we are back now with the offensive coordinator, and this is Ethan Aune. Ethan, this is not the first time that you've been to the bunker.
No, sir, this is not.
No, we've had you out here. We've had you for the on the podcast. You helped me out this past summer with some lovely bales. Did some great work. You and Coach Nally and Coach G, of course, got all involved in that, and that was pretty fun. So tell me a little bit about the offensive coordinator position and how that's going for you.
Well, it's a real blessing. I mean, I get to work with guys like Liam Stone every day.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I can live up to his performance here on the coaches show.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying my time, doing the offensive coordinator thing here for Waldorf. I think it was a real blessing for the kind of position I was in my career to have the opportunity to, take the reins a little bit and Coach Chop. Hopefully, I can live up to his decision to put me in charge of the offense. I mean, it's always scary giving a run game guy the reins, but I guess
worked out this past Saturday. Obviously, the run game was huge, and we saw that before because a couple of weeks ago we set a record, school records, with Navi Hill coming in with over 2,000 yards, breaking that, and now he is well on his way to 3,000 yards, which is just phenomenal. And clearly, you can't do that if the run's not in the game plan.
Indeed, and I think that week actually was against Mayville State.
Mm-hmm. And that's who we happen to be running up against this week. It's senior day for Waldorf University, and we'll be seeing the Mayville Comets once again. And what are we looking for from them?
Well, I'm excited to just get out there and get a chance to kind of show what we've been working on. Every time you get a chance to play a team for the second time, you always got to work on the little wrinkles and things you're going to do different. Now, from an offensive standpoint, you always want to establish the run early, get a chance to kind of stop it and see how the defense is going to make their adjustments, stop your run game, and then see how you can take advantage of that from the second, they actually get that done.
You've got a little bit of extra film time with Mayville because during the Dickinson State game at Waldorf, we had a almost 4-hour rain delay, and they were also playing. Who were they playing, and what did you see? Because I think that several of you at least were watching the Mayville game.
Yeah, I saw some highlights during our extended halftime there.
Yeah,
they were playing Valley City, I think, and it ended in
Double overtime.
Double
overtime. Yeah.
Here you go, Liam.
Yeah. Liam is still with us. It's 4 microphones versus 2 on the normal show, and so there's lots of potential for piping up here. I'll tell you, and which is fine, but which is funny with well, it's not funny actually. Let's talk a little bit about Valley City, since I've got the offensive coordinator here. That did not go as smoothly as we had hoped for, but we get the chance to see them again. Unfortunately, we don't have a bye week. We get a bye week again before Dickinson. After maybe we don't have a bye week. Yeah, we do.
After Dickinson,
we get a bye week. So we do have a bye week again with Valley City. So not to jump ahead, because we'll talk about that, in another show. But boy, the Valley City thing, that was a disappointment. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that's a tough situation. I mean, I was a little bit in shock after the game, to be honest with you. It's really a tale of two halves.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
watching the film afterwards, you were, getting a chance to sit there and actually let it sink in. But I couldn't find many errors that we made in the first half, and I couldn't find any plays in the second half without somebody making an error. So just one of those opportunities for us to kind of learn from as a staff and also as a team about, the way that good teams are going to react to the game. It's not really over until the clock strikes 0, So if we take our foot off the gas a little bit, if we feel like the game's done at halftime, we're going to be in some big trouble. And those things kind of show up in games that are important to the guys more often than in games that, every game's important to the guys. Excuse me on that one. But I mean, homecoming games, senior days, those are the days that you really need to make sure that you're keeping your eye on the prize and letting all those emotional factors that kind of weigh in come after the game, not during it.
Well, you see those games like that, and those do happen. It is the NSAA, it is the NAIA, and so anything can happen. It is football. So as you prepare for Mayville, they're no, they're not schleps either. So it's like as you prepare for them, you have to be ready for whatever their defense brings. And what do you think that they're going to try to do this weekend?
Well, they seem to be based out of an odd front from what I've seen on film. They've made a couple adjustments since the last time they played them. It's kind of weird how the schedule worked out for all of the NSAA teams. We kind of repeated the same order of, each of the games and the bye weeks we got from the first half to the second half of the season. So previously they were coming off Dickinson. They are coming off Dickinson this week. They've shown this last Dickinson week, I thought, was probably their best performance on defense. They did some things particularly well. I think they were kind of ready for them, a little more revved up than maybe I saw during our game. So we're expecting them to come out and be ready to go. I mean, I don't think there's going to be too many wrinkles they put in, maybe a couple things. They did a little bit more twisting, a little bit more movement in the front end, at least, than we saw previously in kind of the first half of the season. But we'll see. We're kind of expecting that there's going to be something new that we haven't seen on film, just like all the other teams.
So one of the interesting comments that has occurred in previous shows has been about the officiating. And when you went to Mayville, of course, the conversation always seems to lead towards, boy, it really seems like those folks up in North Dakota have a particular point of view. And now Mayville will be playing at Bullstorf Field, and they'll be playing with the officials down here, which are from the conference we're about to join, the GPAC conference. So we're pretty pleased with our officiating in most cases. How much of that plays into planning for the game on the offense, if at all? And then, if it does, what are we looking forward to this weekend?
Well, Coach, as a personal philosophy, I try to avoid letting any of my control of the game, mentally go and putting that in the hands of anybody else. So I try to avoid commenting too much on the officiating. But I also like to make a point of, especially for our offense and recent changes that we've made, of really emphasizing the process rather than the product. So in a lot of cases, if we can just sit and look at every single set of downs for what it is and work on making our process to getting to a first down as perfect as we can possibly get it, the touchdowns, the wins, the rushing yards, all that's going to come. So maybe I got away from your officiating question there.
That's okay.
Bit, but,
no, I get it. Well, though, you come from Division II football. You played at Concordia and St. Paul. You were a Golden Bear, and I know this from having conversations with you before. They're at Seafoam Stadium, and what are the differences? Just let our fans know, because I think it is important, the environment that we have at the home games. And of course, this Saturday is our final home game as far, here, and that's why it's senior day. But what is the difference between your experience playing football up in the Twin Cities, where there's 3 million people, including the, with the suburbs and everything, and Little Forest City, Iowa?
Yeah, for a little bit of context, not only did I play, but I also continued my, started my coaching career there at CSB, did my graduate assistantship there. And really it's shocking. I think people that have only been to a couple of college football games, big time games where we're looking at Big Ten teams and maybe Waldorf games, don't always get the full perspective of the full context and the picture of how special it is the way our Gridiron Club and the fans come out to support Waldorf. I mean, I'm, again, like you said, coming from a program who's in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the country. And, oftentimes there'd be people walking down the street being like, oh man, what's going on there? A football game? Who's playing? What high school? People don't come out the way they do in Forest City. And it's really special the way you'll get such a huge crowd. I mean, it sounds cliche, right? Like we're sitting here on the radio or in different kind of forms of media that we put out and talking about the atmosphere and the program and the Warrior Walk and all those things. And you don't really understand it until you come see it. I mean, it's really, and you also don't really understand it and how special it is until you've been in other places. Everyone says that the town shuts down on Saturdays, but in Forest City, there's like really bouncy houses. On the side of the sidewalk as the whole team walks through and everyone cheers. It's really a special thing that I honestly didn't think existed, coming from playing high school to playing, college ball in a city. And then from coming here, I actually thought on my interview when Coach Finley was interviewing me, like, what? Nah, everyone says that. That's not real. Until I got here and I was like, wow, this is incredible. And it's much more special than many people realize.
So playing in the Twin Cities in Division II, part of the Northern Sun Conference, and then also starting your coaching career there, you had an opportunity just this last spring to maybe join another Division II program. And if you don't mind, let's talk about that, because do those experiences that you've had with Waldorf, obviously the opportunity, to be the offensive coordinator and different things like that. Talk about, maybe the opportunity that you had and then why you said, no, I'm gonna stay purple here, because I guess purple is the color in general in that particular situation.
Well, you may have alluded to the answer, but I guess, as I used to say in high school, I don't kiss and tell.
Yeah.
I can speak to, though, how special my experience has been here. I think just the way I've proceeded and the way that I like to approach my career.
Liam's pretty sure it's because I am. Like, he's pretty sure that you stuck around.
Yeah. Liam's a real special guy. He likes to come in and troll me every single day. But I love him, and I wish he'd make the decision to just come back. But,
yeah, there you go.
It's a personal one he's got to make. No, I am a real growth-focused individual. I mean, a lot of the way I apply myself daily professionally has to do with making sure I'm beating the guy I was yesterday. Mm-hmm. And Waldorf presented an opportunity that was very special for me in that regard. Getting the chance to be the offensive coordinator and working with guys that, I've been with previously, and getting a chance to stay with the offensive line. We got a good culture going. I'm glad to be with these guys and getting a chance to grow and learn. Every single step of the way, Coach Chapa was, kind of asking me about offense, this and that. And I said, Coach, the one thing I can tell you is I am by no means, if there's one thing you know about Ethan Aune, make sure you know this. He is by no means a finished product. Mm-hmm. I'm going to work every single day to make sure that I have a better understanding of what I'm seeing tomorrow, including season to season. Maybe I don't have the all-encompassing end goal 1,000-foot view of how every single part of the pass game works, but I've been lucky enough to be put with a staff that's, been building me up and learning. I've been learning from those guys, a couple of guys with a lot of experience, and been all across the, United States and where they're coming from and their experiences. So getting a chance to work with those guys and every single day getting better at what I do is really what's been driving me to continue where I'm at. That's an opportunity that maybe I didn't get some other places, or, maybe there's things to learn there too, different things to learn everywhere. But in this case, I think I made the right decision for sure.
Well, we certainly think so, and we're glad that you're here and that you're making those decisions
for the offense at Waldorf, and obviously it's fun to see the run game develop like that, and obviously we do have the ability to use the air game and really all of the tools that we're fortunate to have at this small university. We like to say the best small college football experience in America, but it's fun to, talk to the Waldorf University president, and he says, this is the university, and so it's the premier experience of being able to say, you can do this and something else. And I think that is evident in what we see on Saturday afternoons. And certainly when we bring these new players in to visit us on a game day. And so let's talk a little bit just for a moment about maybe what we've got down the road, if there's anything that we're looking at or who we're looking at, because obviously who we've got on that front line, whether it's the offense or the defense, big boys make the difference. And obviously Liam shows that that's the case. So what do we have some interesting prospects?
Of course. I mean, we've got a couple guys in the works already here at Waldorf University. And I'm excited to kind of get in the mix a little bit more and get some more opportunities for, whenever you're following up a really established group of seniors who have been a huge part of growing the culture here at Waldorf University, those being Cade Kloster-Hodak, Logan Miller, Liam came in a couple of years ago and has been my favorite thorn in my side.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys, whenever you get a chance to, I guess replace isn't the right word, because we're not looking forward to them being gone, but you get a chance to make some opportunities for those younger guys. It's really exciting to see how they step up, not only in recruiting, but also in the guys that are kind of homegrown and have been around for a couple of years. I mean, all those guys end up being de facto leaders. One of the things that we did at Concordia St. Paul in the strength program underneath a coach that me and Coach Chapa both know very well, Coach Eric Overland, who was the he was the strength coach for both Coach Chapa and myself in our times in college.
Two different periods of time.
Yes. Yeah, I believe that.
For Chapa, he was at Abilene.
Not like crazy.
No, not crazy. Yeah.
But he always had a huge philosophy on freshmen, on making sure that when you're doing your lifts, you're separating the freshmen from anybody older. Because he always said that the de facto leader of any group is going to be the guy that's been there before. So it's really important each year for each of those classes to grow their own culture and make sure that those guys are, just because there's a guy that wasn't playing before, he's not working out with the freshmen that are all coming in together, because then they're not going to find their own leaders, not going to find their own voice. So I'm excited to have that opportunity to have those guys come in, join the program. There's a couple guys we're looking at, a couple of big young strappers, as I might say, that are looking to take up some of the offensive line positions that I guess are potentially vacant.
Right. Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully not. Right. Love to have him back. Doesn't need to go back to LaPorte yet.
Not yet. No. All right. Well, Coach, we're very glad that you're the offensive coordinator, and super excited that you're made Waldorf University your home, and it's fun to see what you're doing on the field. I know that when things go your way, you can't wait to talk about the offense, and when things didn't go our way so far this season, you're just a little bit like you take that personally, and I feel like that's part of the growth, and we can see that in you, and just great things to come. So thank you for what you do, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk with head coach Tyler Chapa once again, talk about Mayville and the Comets that are coming to town at Bolstor Field next week, and we'll be back to talk to him right after these messages.
Yeah, another session.
I'm going to pee.
Yeah.
And we'll come back.
We'll end it up.
We're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing it.
The best thing about editing is
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I could say.
Hey, Liam, what's going on, buddy?
Say the most horrendous things ever.
No, you should not, dude. When he was, we love you, but my lord, you make me laugh, man. That's why you love older guys, because you can laugh with them when they're goofy.
Try to catch me up there with the whole Mankato thing.
He did. It's still recording.
He's gonna hear
Don't bleep it out. Put this on the podcast, Troy.
No.
Make him own up to it.
Coach Johnny hates his job.
Okay, maybe bleep that one out.
Just Liam.
But you are the favorite, Thorne.
The favorite, yes.
You look like a little, what did Logan Miller call you the other day?
Gremlin? Munchkin?
A snail? Or
Oh, a little snail.
A little
'cause
snail.
I was like,
because your back was hurting or something?
I was like in a depressive mood.
He's so
Yeah.
Liam is so emotional. I'm going to make sure
These
say
are the things that he needs to, his personal things he needs to get out of the way because you are coming back.
I'm going
And you don't really have a choice, buddy.
to work really hard to make sure Troy has to.
All right, if I'm coming back, no conditioning for me.
Correct. I won't make you run ever again in your life,
Oh, okay, then I'll come back.
even though it's probably the best thing for you. How about you walk around the track?
Isn't that counterintuitive? You just said on the radio that you're trying to get more exercise.
Well,
What if you walk?
there's different forms of exercise that I can tolerate.
Planking?
and-
Can you plank?
I love planking, actually. It's not bad.
There's no way you can do a plank for a minute.
I could
Do one on this table.
right now.
No.
I mean, I'm going to have to wipe the mics off.
Yeah, no. Just kidding.
Yeah.
That's incredible. You think you can plank for a minute?
Want to see?
Dude, 1 minute, though. That's 60.
Well, be careful. You might accuse me of grooming you on the radio.
You shouldn't do that.
That kind of what it was.
Yeah, but you don't
Don't say that.
I don't know what other word I wanted to use. I don't know what other synonym I wanted to use.
Preparing.
Preparing would have been an awesome word.
Sorry. I
It's
prepared.
You should probably apologize to Coach.
Coach Haddockson
Coach had to check.
had to check.
Yeah. I mean,
You were incredible. You were an incredible creature, Liam.
I hate you. I hate you with
We
love.
made sure you had to bleep out all this.
You're gonna love listening to this little part as you're.
Can't wait to edit this. All right. Let me get, I got to get back and.
Is this the one where we can like
Chill.
come in and like help
No.
out? Or no, this is yeah. Okay. Yes, sir.
We're still. in
yeah,
the
just be
coaching
quiet like a good housemaid.
sh- See, those are the things we're talking about. That's Liam.
Oh, yeah.
That is Liam. He said I was being groomed to play high school
Yeah.
football by a man with Christian values.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it kind of adds up.
Here we Oh, I see what you did there. All right. All right, here we go. All right. Welcome back to Warriors Live. Troy Thompson here, and now we're back with head coach Tyler Chapa. A little different format this week. Well, we've got about the same format, but instead of talking to two athletes, we talked to one, and then we had the opportunity to talk to offensive coordinator Ethan Aune, and now back with Tyler Chapa. We're going to talk about what's happening in this week's game as we roll into Saturday, the final home game at Bullstor Field. We've got a football that the Gridiron Club is looking forward to auctioning off because it's we had 5, and so this is the 5th game, and this is the last opportunity for people to do that. Now here we are, and we're talking about the Comets once again. Now, when we played the Comets just over a month ago up there in Mayville, we beat them 56-34. It was tied at the end of the quarter, 7-7, and then the Warriors broke away, got 14 points in the second quarter, picked up, they had 10, and then we picked up a 14 in the third. After the half, they got 10 again, and then they ended with 7. We had another 14. So it was 1, 2, 3, and then 2 more, and then 2 more, and 56-34. Boy, I don't know how that adds up.
That was good
but
math
it sounds
right
pretty
there.
good. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So everybody, and you talk about Connor Parker staying perfect, and obviously that was the case. So you wrap all that up, 56-34. What are we looking at this weekend?
Yeah, I think Coach Aune talked about it a little bit, but there's going to be some wrinkles that they're going to do. They're not going to completely abandon what they do. No team is, but even they're not, at least I'll speak defensively for a second, they're not as pass heavy as they were in the first half of the season. They still will go empty, go 5 wide and stuff like that, but they're looking to establish the run game too.
When you played them before, you converted almost half of your third downs. Your efficiency was 44%. And that was the week that we talked about. The week prior to that, you hadn't gotten the third down efficiency that you wanted to. And then you came around, played Mayville on the road, and then just smoked them. They were at 27% third down efficiency. So stopping them, being able to make that big third down play. And, of course, the fun part for me is when it's a home game, when it's third down on defense, we get to say, it's third down, Warrior fans, make some noise. scores, and of course they always do.
Yep.
And we're looking for 27% or less.
Yeah, and anytime we can get the ball back to our offense and get an extra drive in, whether there's a minute left, 5 minutes left, I mean that's the whole goal. Get off the field, give our guys the ball, and then let's make something happen.
I mean, they've got some players at Mayville. It's no joke of a team. They've stuck it in there. Like you said, they were in double overtime with Valley City. And so who are we looking at on offense particularly, and then who are we looking at on defense?
Yeah, so offensively, their quarterback, Tim Salmon, he's a great quarterback. I think we held him under 200 yards. I don't know the last time that a team has done that because he has passed for over 500 yards before in a game. So he is very, very accurate, and they'll throw deep balls and just think that their guys are open even when they're not. So they have number 14 is their best receiver, very fast, crafty with his routes. He is a deep threat. They'll throw him a screen, and he'll just make some moves and go 80 yards to the house. So he's going to be on our list. And then we've got number 19. Their whole receiving core really is pretty good. And then running back wise, they've got two pretty big boys back there. So being able to stop the run and make them one-dimensional is going to be our priority.
Guys were pretty even when it came to the passing game, 12-23 for the Warriors. The last time we played them, 14-28, right there at that 50% margin. The difference was, of course, on defense. Talk about that. And we had 2 interceptions on them. They had none on us. So you talk about throwing the ball even when there's not somebody there. Let's hope that happens again.
Yeah, and we talk about creating takeaways, whether that's with our pressure, whether that's with how we disguise our coverages. The goal is to give the quarterback one picture and then do something else post-snap. And I think that game in particular, we worked a ton on different safety rotations and things like that. So we're not going to do the same things. We're going to have some of the same principles, but we're going to throw some wrinkles in there.
Well, it's an exciting Saturday. It's the final home game for the Warriors. We want all the Warriors to come out and all the fans to partake in the usual activities at the end zone there on the north side of the field in the tailgate area, and then, of course, in the stands and be a big part of what is going to be Senior Day. Let's talk about some of your seniors while we've got you here.
Yeah, well, I guess obviously Liam Stone sitting across the table from us now.
He's a junior.
Yeah, Liam will be back. I'm not worried about it. But Jordan Cooper's a senior. Will Strickland's a senior.
Yep.
And it's kind of funky this year, with some guys that are technically seniors that have a year left, due to COVID still. So I think this is one of the last years that COVID's kind of going to influence who's going to graduate, and who's going to take that 5th year. So right now we've got about 14 guys, and I think 5 or 6 of those guys have an option to part-time in the spring and come back in the fall. So, I think we'll have about 11 guys walk, but, we're losing a lot on the offensive line. We're losing both of our receivers, quarterback, 2 running backs that potentially have another season. So, and then defensively, losing Will Strickland. He's been here this is his 3rd year. He's done a phenomenal job. 2-time team captain. Edwan Works. He's been a lockdown corner this year. He's been great. Austin Erdman has been great. And then Thomas Edwards at the linebacker position. Took a year off to get some grades right, and he has been phenomenal on and off the field. So we're going to miss a lot of these guys, and the business of college football is you build relationships with these guys, so you can be with them in their future endeavors.
Yeah, well, the goal is to get the degree, and that's what they come to the school for in the first place. The idea that, you can play football and obviously get your degree and potentially do something else and take a little bit of Forest City with you. That is always what we're hopeful for, and clearly the program is in good hands. This is you are the head coach officially now. We are 3 weeks into that announcement, so it had its ups and downs, but as the program goes and we look at our seniors that are taking the step in the next direction, potentially, at least a number of them, what do we look forward to next year?
Yeah, I think we're on a lot of really good recruits right now. I mean, we're trying to go back to, where we were a couple years ago and killing it in Iowa and Minnesota. I think it's underrated, but there's really good football around here, and these are the guys that are going to stick it out because college football is a process. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but sometimes it takes you 2 years to get on the field, and that's just what development is, and everybody develops at a different rate, and we're going to go out and get our guys from around the country, which is what makes football great. You got a melting pot of cultures and backgrounds, and you get to meet guys you'd never meet before. But I think our niche is going to be, getting the guys that have been here, have their families from around here, and get them mixed in with some of the guys that aren't from around here, and show them, the great, why Forest City is great or why Central Iowa is great, and some of that hospitality too.
Yeah, well, I like to hear that as a lover of this community, and obviously the folks that are with us on the program today. They clearly enjoy obviously Waldorf football and the experiences that we have on Saturday. Folks, you want to come out and you want to check that out. Before we come back and just say our thank yous and goodbyes, we want to take a moment to recognize our sponsors, and so we'll do that right now as we head into a Saturday game with Mayville State University and the Comets. We'll be back right after these messages. Forgot there's like a there's like the final break
It's your
that
break,
I
and
always
then-
like
Sure.
wreck it for them because they're like, normally that's supposed to be at like 45, and then I just like that doesn't work because you can't have a conversation with
Correct.
anybody,
I know.
and then you can't give away anything important for the game on Saturday.
Correct.
Yeah,
There's always that little little
weird,
awkward time.
that weird. That's like, so what's your game plan for Saturday? I can't tell you.
Well, we're going empty on Saturday.
That's right.
So you should expect to see
Running,
no
we're
gonna
running
have-
QB sneak every play.
We're gonna have
everything.
Liam run the football.
That was
That's
like-
what our game plan.
not even in the
listen,
dreams.
I'm gonna wear a number.
What's it going to take to keep you in the game and come
I'm
back
gonna wear number
next
90.
year? Fumble-a-rooski, number 911 is what we're going to run.
No, not even.
You don't even have a fumble-a-rooski
Not for
in
me.
the playbook?
We have it for every other player except
Every
The
Yeah.
one.
So I'm such a deviant.
I would
One-
love to
one
see the
requirement.
deviant pick the ball up and nobody thinks he's got it and just,
I've never seen Liam run before.
Our only requirement.
Whatever, you make me run every day.
yeah.
every Tuesday. We'll
only
mute it.
The
requirement.
beauty of that,
It's
though,
every
Fumble
Tuesday.
Rooskies is he has to run a
I
sub
would probably
8
have
second
an
40.
I would have an aneurysm if he ran that ball in on a fumble.
I would.
I mean,
I would.
too.
I
because
would.
in the PA on senior day, are you kidding me?
I would look at
I
you
would
and
go- I
point
would-
right at you and say, "You did this.
But he's third in line to get a ball in the goal line. So.
You did this."
It's like somebody else takes over. It's somebody with a lot. It's going to be Rosie Almond.
Yeah.
She's going to. It's third
She's gonna be
down.
like, "Oh my god,
Warrior fans, make some noise, please."
can we get an EMS up here, please?" Troy is having.
No,
a
they wouldn't. They're too busy. They're all busy up there. John, those guys like in that row upstairs.
Stats is probably pretty hard. Doing the stats is probably. Do they
I
have
mean,
binoculars up there?
No, they got Zarin. Z is up there. Z's really good. Like he
He is.
calls
He is
it. Like he'll call it. He'll give them the code. They'll put it in, and he just calls it. Now we play off each other. Like he'll
he on the radio?
I have binoculars. He'll use what I say. Like he'll say credit tackle, whatever. But like and then the radio guys just say whatever the heck they want.
I feel like my ADHD would just like kick in.
I would
and
be
I'd
like,
get
"Okay, what's
distracted.
going over?" So look at that car over there. That's what I would say.
I'd make fun of Liam.
We're not going to talk about what happens if you have a 4-hour rain delay because
Yeah,
then I-
Dickinson State. We already talked.
then I
Yeah.
get,
And then I get calls from the athletic director.
Oh, do you?
Well, I get like, "Hey,
Good.
did you hear this?" And I'm like, "No, he's fine.
No, he's fine.
He's a professional."
Yeah.
Troy, never.
Yeah, that guy probably went home.
Yeah, I didn't see him afterwards at all.
Yeah.
With one eye open.
Yeah,
Hey, what-
one eye open.
You guys will be fine.
You guys will be good.
You guys will be. Go get him next week.
I gotta go now. All right, that's way more than 2 minutes. I'll have to edit all that crap out.
Yeah, it's not crap.
No, it's all true. You know what? Those are memories, and I was totally prepared to get fired. I was totally.
I would have been
prepared.
so upset.
I would have been. I was prepared. I'll just tell you right now because I'm gonna edit all this. But it was like
you can't
I
get
was-
fired.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't get fired from a job you don't get paid for. But like, I was just like
Relieved of
if
your
they were
duties.
like, yeah, relieved. they're like, if the conversation came up, bar,
You can't get fired. Though.
No,
You do too good of a job.
because that takes the wind out of their sails.
Yeah.
And it was like,
And they got John Cabral, which,
Whoa.
yeah. John was there, and he had a problem that he had to deal with, which was me, because clearly I came in after that rainstorm.
you had to climb up, or no, you guys don't have to go to the very top. So
Had to
you
get
didn't
up
have to
there.
climb up.
No,
the
no,
ladder.
but he was clearly like on, and that's just like the moment that she's like, who's got a firearm and who doesn't? It's like, I didn't, but he thought I did.
He was nervous.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm not going to tell him, like, you should straighten up. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to tell me anything.
Throw me out this window. Oh, Liam, don't do that.
Yeah, Liam. Hey, PA.
Just got a little bit.
PA could be in your future.
Hey,
You
on
could
the
be
first
you
down,
could be
he groomed
you
him
could be
for the
You
first
could be the public announcer.
Yeah.
Who's going to tell you no?
Well, if I was getting paid, obviously there's going to be some ramifications.
Yeah,
You
do-
would
they
lose
do,
that
right.
job so fast.
During the
It wouldn't even be
interview.
funny.
They do pay. They do pay sometimes. Like for basketball, they do pay me, but for football, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah, you do. You
Don't-
love it so much.
I do. I love it. so
Don't
much.
blow smoke up his. He could not do that.
Okay, it's
think
our
you-
last
I think you could.
Liam, shut
All
your
right,
mouth.
this is gonna roll in. It's just 3 minutes.
Yeah,
you know,
we're good.
Here we go. All right, welcome back to Warriors Live in the recorded version, the studio version. So glad that everybody joined us this Wednesday. Look, it's going to be live again. We'll be on Facebook Live next week. This week, it was just a little bit different because we got great obligations with all the high school volleyball tournament action that's happening with KIOW, KIOW.com. Troy Thompson here. Just want to take the opportunity to say thank you to all of our guests here tonight, starting with Liam Stone, because we want to see him come back. Ethan Aune, and of course, head coach Tyler Chapa. Folks, this is the opportunity that we have to say thank you. And this weekend is Senior Day on Saturday. Come out, tailgate, get out there early. When's the Warrior Walk going to be, Coach?
10:30 a.m.
10:30. That must mean that it's a 1 o'clock game.
Yes, sir.
1 o'clock kickoff, 10:30 for the Warrior Walk. Folks, don't miss it. It's the wrap up at the home game, and one more opportunity to get that signed Warrior football over there in the great Pritchard's Family Auto Store portable bar, which, I mean, who's got even that? So I do want to take this time to say thanks to our title sponsor, of course. And you can join the Gridiron Club, by the way, support the Warrior football team. Come on out and cheer on the Warriors this Saturday as they play host at Bullstore Field to the Mayville State Comets. And we'll see what happens there. Of course, we already know we're going to snuff that Comet right out again. Don't forget to stop by the Gridiron Club in the tailgate area before the start of the third quarter. Each home game, to register for a silent auction, official Waldorf Warrior football. Winner will be announced before the end of the game, just as we always do. Look, it's your opportunity to come out one more time. It's Senior Day, and this is the best small college football experience in America.
You can join the Waldorf Gridiron Club and be part of the best small college football experience in America.
Just visit our website and pick your membership level. Find us and everything Waldorf Gridiron Club related, including professional photos, at waldorfgridironclub.org.
You can also click on the Support the Show link in the show notes to donate.
And you can even use the United States Postal Service by sending your check to the Waldorf Gridiron Club, P.O. Box 125, Forest City, Iowa, 50436.
It's tax exempt, hassle free, and has a level for every budget.
That's right. Anyone can join, even our rivals.
Show your colors. Join the Gridiron Club today.
Get it?
Got it. Fantastic.
The Waldorf Gridiron Club Podcast is hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson. Produced by Sunnyside Farm Studios in beautiful rural Forest City, Iowa. Platformed by Buzzsprout and music by Soundstripe. The Waldorf Gridiron Club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the student-athletes of the Waldorf University football program. Our mission is to assist the program in maintaining the best small college football experience in America.